And welcome back. This is Pizza Party 9, and we're going to go over how to create a virtual machine. But first, before we start, we're going to have to make sure we have all the tools we need. So first we're going to go into our browser. We're going to type in VirtualBox. Click enter. We're going to open up the one that says download. We're going to make sure we download VirtualBox 5.0.24, which is the most up-to-date version as of right now. You'd click the 86/AMD, click save, but I'm not going to because I already have it installed on my computer. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to either want an ISO of the operating system we want. If you want Windows 10, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Microsoft web page, and we're going to go to Microsoft Media Creation Toolkit, and with that we can download the toolkit. Um, and from the toolkit we can get a fresh copy of Windows 10, which is the Windows 10 install we're going to be using today. But also I already have this, so after you've installed the Windows 10 Media Creation Toolkit, what you're going to do, instead of saying upgrade my machine, you're going to ask for the ISO itself and save it to your computer. They have simple instructions on their website on how to do that, and I won't go into too big of detail of that, but if you wanted Windows 10, you can do it that way. Another way is if you have a Windows installation CD, like a Windows 7 or a Windows 10 CD or flash drive, you can use that too. But I'm going to be using an ISO today. So I'm going to close out of this right now. And we're going to see I already have my ISO right here. There's our Windows ISO that I got from the Windows Media Creation Toolkit. And I also have my Oracle VM VirtualBox software right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up VMware VirtualBox. If it wants to open today. Let's find out if it wants to open today. We'll open it again. And now that we have the Oracle VirtualBox opened, I can start making it. What I want to start with is I want to start with click new. I'm going to give this virtual machine a name. We're going to call it Windows 10-VM. We're going to make sure that we have Microsoft Windows selected. If we wanted a Linux install setup, we would want to click Linux, and it'll give us a whole list of other versions of Linux. If you have an operating system that is not on the list, just click Other, and it'll give you a whole bunch of other, including an unknown. But today we're going to use Microsoft Windows. They have a list all the way from Windows 3.1 all the way up to Windows 10, and then also Other. But we're going to click Windows 10 64-bit because that's what we have. We're going to click Next. Now we're going to give it some RAM, but this is going to depend on how much system RAM you have in your computer. I have 32 gigs of RAM, so I have quite a lot of RAM that I can spare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump it up. We're going to give it 4 gigs of RAM. And we'll click Next. And now we're going to create our virtual hard drive. So we're just going to leave this the same. And we're going to keep this the same. And we're going to keep this the same. And this is where you're going to tell it how much hard drive space you're going to give it. You can go all the way up to 2 terabytes, but I'm not going to give it that much. I'm going to keep it with the standard 32 gigs because that's all I really need for today. I'm going to click create, and now I have the virtual machine set up to take the operating system. And you can fine tune a lot of these settings to your liking if you really wanted to. Like if we wanted to give our display a bit more, we'd be like, oh, let's give it some more video memory. It's only got one monitor. You can go through the scaling. I'm going to turn on acceleration just because I want to. And I'm going to upgrade it to 256 megabytes of video RAM because I have plenty of RAM to go around. You can also change storage, your system stuff, I like to leave that alone a lot of the time unless you're doing something really crazy like creating a virtual machine for OS X. You really don't need to go into much detail on all of these. I just mainly go towards this. When you're done, you can change the amount of RAM you want to give it later on. So that's what we're going to start off with. We can go into like some advanced settings, but I'm not going to go into that today. So we've already set up our everything pretty much, so I'm just going to click OK. And I'm going to start my virtual machine. And when it starts it up for the first time, it's going to ask for where your operating system is. So if you have a disk drive, you can point it towards there where your CD is, or since I have an ISO, I'm going to search for my ISO. My ISO is on my desktop. It is the windows.iso folder. So I'm going to double click that. So now we have the Windows ISO selected. We're going to click Start. And I'm going to go full screen over here just because I can, and we're just going to install it just like we would a Windows 10 installation. So we're going to just click Next. We are English and we are in the United States, and the US keyboard input is correct for us. If I was somewhere else and I wanted a different language, I would pick otherwise. And I want to install now. Now, I'm not going to put in a license key. You technically don't need it for a virtual machine if you only plan on using it like every once in a while to fool around with tech scammers, or if you're just using it for kicks and giggles. I normally don't put in activation code because um, I use my virtual machines to test out things either me and some friends are developing. So I don't want my machine to run it in case something bad goes wrong. So I just set these up as a throwaway machine that I don't care about, that I can delete probably 2 days down the road, and they don't take that long to set up anyways. So I'm going to say I don't have a product key, and we're going to go with Windows 10 Pro today because we can. So we're just going to click Next, and we're going to accept the license term. And we're not upgrading, we're doing a custom install, and we have the hard drive we want selected, so we're going to click Next. And we can just wait for it to get the installation ready. It's going to restart a few times, just like you restart your computer when you're doing a fresh install of Windows 10. And we're just going to wait till it gets to 100%. I just love how it takes forever. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for it. and we're gonna restart it. We're gonna ignore the press any key to boot from CD because we already finished that step. We're just gonna let it go on its own. I am sober. What are you talking about? And we're gonna ignore it again this time around. Yes, I'm coming. I don't know. I don't know why you thought it would be a cool idea to do this while streaming, but yes, I am. I don't know what time it is. Last time you guys were talking, you guys said he is in class until 9. So nobody has given me information past that. Alright, back to this. We're just going to use express settings. I own this machine, yes. Click next. Um, I'm not going to create an account, so I'm going to skip this step. I'm going to name this 10-VM. I will not give it a password. And why does this conversation have to pop up while I'm in the middle of a stream? And no, I have been home all day today. I was definitely not at Best Buy. I love how Windows 10 just it's like, it takes forever. Just getting that all ready for you, all of it. Oh, we're getting ready to start, eh? And here we go. We are on Windows 10 now. Awesome. Now, before we can start using the VM as normal, we want to insert our guest edition CD image. Which will be in devices. Go to insert guest CD image. I already clicked it, so it should pop up eventually, or soon, hopefully. And there we go. We want to tap, and we want to install of these. We want to run them. Now these pretty much act like the system drivers for the virtual machine. So a lot of things won't work properly unless you install these guest add-ons. Install. And yes, I want to reboot now. And now that we're back in, we can now change our display settings. Let's see. And now we can go into more of a full screen mode so it looks a lot better. There we go. And that's how you install a Windows 10 virtual machine. Let's see. There we go.